Good morning. Happy January 29th, and welcome back to the Leaf Riders of Wrenwood, where we have presumably finished playing as Cora here for a bit and are going to meet a new character. But as Cora, we were attending the festival and signed up for a tournament, the Leaf Riders tournament, and we were able to we tried to sneak in, and we did not make a very effective plan, but we did then sneak our way in anyway, despite our lack of a good plan. We didn't actually participate in the tournament, so we'll have to see where that leads down the road. But for now, let's go ahead and presumably meet a new character. So we will tear this off, and we have Merrik Scowl Lightfoot. And we're going to go ahead and turn to that page in the hero book as well. Lovely. So there we are. We are a Weasel Shadow Weaver. Okay. So I did not say that in the ideal way. We are the Weasel Shadow Weaver. Um, and it looks like we have a crossbow of sorts. Yeah. And then we are holding like a bag, which is interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the description. So, the agile and elusive Merrik Lightfoot found companionship amongst fellow scoundrels when he was orphaned and living on the streets. He discovered his ability to manipulate shadows and can command the dark to conceal himself, create illusions, and infuse his crossbow bolts with dark energy. With unparalleled precision and a knack for gathering information, Merrik is an expert infiltrator and gatherer of secrets. Despite his solitary nature, Merrik is fiercely protective of his allies. Amongst other thieves, he goes by the name Scowl. Merrik found himself able to hide his compassion and soft heart behind this moniker. Today, he is scheming to infiltrate the Crownspire Castle to steal a leaf from the Tree of Seasons. This final act will earn him a place in the Thieves Guild. Okay, there we go. So we've got a shifty character here, but not, you know, traditional like D&D uh, logic would say that our previous character, the dagger character, would be the rogue type character, but this one really feels like the rogue type character based on the description, and that's cool. And using a crossbow. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at our character sheet here. I assume that will also be the next page here. Yes, it will. Okay. So we have Merrik Lightfoot, Shadow Weaver, level 1. We have a crossbow, and we start with no amber. Our traits, we get -1 strength, +1 dex, +2 con, -2 intellect, -1 wisdom, and +1 charisma. We have 10 max HP, we have +3 defense, but we only have +1 attack. Our damage is a d10. And then our abilities, we have 4 of them right now. So we have Locksmith, which is add +2 to all rolls to bypass or open a lock. We have Lucky. Whenever you roll a 1 on a d20, you get to re-roll and take the new result. We have Twilight's Embrace. Once per page, you can re-roll any d20 plus Constitution roll and take the new result. Then we've got Void Bolt. Once per page, you can add a d4 to a single attack roll. Well, this character seems pretty good. We got high damage, and we don't have super high attack, but the fact that once per page we can add a d4 to it is a nice kind of concession for that. And yeah, just the high defense and damage means I think will be somewhat effective in combat, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure how often Locksmith will come up. I'm sure it will come up in this first week, but I'm curious if it will actually be all that relevant of an ability for the most part. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here since we don't use that. All right, and we have Monday, January 29th, 2024, and that is Moon's Day of Deep Winter. And this looks like we're in like a cemetery, or rather that we're high above a cemetery. That's interesting. Okay, so it says you sit perched on a branch high above the contestants. You've snuck into the leaf riding tournament where your next heist will start. Okay, so that's not a cemetery. That's just the tournament ground. Interesting. Okay, and so the contestants are here on the lower branch, and I do see what appears to be a person down here in front of this large monument or sculpture. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and read what we're up to here. So it says 1. Go over the plan. 2. Gather intel, which will be rolling a d20 and adding intellect. 3. Prepare for the competition, which is rolling a d20 and adding wisdom. 4. We can steal while we wait, and that is rolling a d20 and adding dexterity. And it gives us the reminder of locksmith, which is interesting. So just based on reading that, I didn't get that there was a lock there. So I assume the back of the page will have made that clear. All right, so let's do number 1, which is go over the plan. You are Renwood's greatest thief. They just don't know it yet. To get accepted into the Thieves Guild, you must take a leaf from the Tree of Seasons to present to the members. The problem is that the Tree of Seasons sits behind the Queen's throne in the Crownspire Castle. You are using the Leaf Riding Tournament as cover for your entry. The landing target for the Leaf Rider contest is in the courtyard of Crownspire Castle. It wouldn't be unusual for a contestant to get blown off target. You plan to land on the roof near the throne room, sneak inside, and take the leaf. Okay, so that makes sense. So we need to now gather intel. This spot gives you a great view of the castle's layout. You carefully observe the guard rotations to look for potential vulnerabilities and places where you can get inside. Okay, so this is going to be rolling a d20 plus intellect, but I'm going to take a little closer look. I did not understand that this was the castle we were looking down at. So is is that bigger sculpture supposed to be that is the castle? And then those other buildings are like just other buildings, houses, whatever they are? Yeah, that must be the case. So that's a bunch of that must be what it is. Or are those all different parts of the castle and this is like the entrance of the castle? And those are like, spires and whatever bits of the castle that are peering out of the top of the trees. Maybe it's that second one, so like all of that is the castle. In which case, I don't really see how we could see guard rotations. But regardless, let's go ahead and do our d20 plus intellect roll to gather intel. So, oh, we rolled a 15. We are -2 for intel, or intellect, so that is 13. So if the result is 12 or more, you discover a good spot where a vent or opening is likely concealed for a stealthier entrance. Write down castle entrance somewhere for future use. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to write down castle entrance. Lovely. All right. Good intel gathering. Okay. Then we can prepare for the competition. To maintain your cover, you must prepare for the Leaf Rider competition like any other participant. You spend time inspecting your leaf, practicing your writing skills, and studying the strategies of others. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll our d20 plus wisdom. Oh, look at that! We rolled a nat 20. So we get to start with a boon, which is great. And our wisdom was -1, but that is a guaranteed success there. If the result is 13 or more, write down prepared to ride somewhere for future use. Okay, so we are prepared to ride. Lovely. Okay. And now we can steal while we wait. While waiting for the round to begin, you spot several unsuspecting contestants that aren't protecting their valuables. It is too tempting not to take their things. You spot several bags that have locks on them. Okay, so we can use our locksmith because it reminds us, but also it told us there were locks on the bag, so that makes sense. And it's rolling a d20 plus our dexterity. So we are +1, but then because of locksmith, we'll be +3. Great. So let's do this. Okay, we rolled a 7. So we add 3 for a 10. We could use a boon if we want, because that is not a great roll. That said, I don't think I want to use the boon just to like steal presumably either an item or some amber. So I will hold off, I think. Okay, so if the result is between 6 and 10, you steal a d4 amber and a warding ointment. Okay, so let's get our d4 of amber here. I'm gonna re-roll that because it landed on the thing. Okay, that's a 1. Lovely. So we get 1 amber, and then we get a warding ointment. Definitely wrote that a bit too big. That's all right. All right, so we have a warding ointment. And we have, I think, very successfully prepared for this tournament. So hopefully we actually do pretty well over it, which is exciting. So that was our first day here with Merrik Lightfoot, the Shadow Weaver. And yeah, he seems pretty cool so far. I'm excited to try him out. One thing that's interesting and is that they don't make a difference between ranged and melee combat in this. So I'm wondering if, for example, the higher defense is kind of reflective of that. But and maybe they'll make a distinction at some point, but I kind of doubt it. I think they would have made that distinction already. The other characters like were often melee, but definitely some of the spells, and there were times that what they were doing could have been ranged for sure. So I think that there isn't a distinction, and they maybe try to flavor the stats to reflect it. And obviously, just they tell you what kind of weapon you're using, so you know with the crossbow, I'm doing ranged combat. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching, and until tomorrow, have a great day.